This is Charleston's retirement coach, Brandon Bowen.
There was this article on thestreet.com talking about common mistakes that people make as they plan for their financial future. The third most common mistake on this list, they say, is not factoring in our taxes. Now, doing this on your own is complicated enough. I mean, with the tax code changing as often as it does. Mm-hmm. Can you clarify for us how tax planning now can pay off for us later?
Absolutely, yeah. And taxes, when people come in, there's definitely two camps here, right? It's, are you still working or are you retired, right? You know, everybody, when we were working, or if you're still working, right? I mean, you're kind of keeping your head down. You know, you're trying to save as much as you can. You're contributing to your 401k, trying to get the match, right? You're doing all of these things. You're being a good employee, a good American. You're a good taxpayer. You know, you're doing all that. And then when you go to your CPA, you kind of, you know, like fingers crossed, what's the damage? You know, did I withhold enough? All this kind of stuff. And so it's all just like, okay, like it's something you have to do to pass go, you know, to get through each year. Okay, fine. Right. But your CPA, the problem is he or she, they're probably so busy that they don't have time to do any forward thinking and forward planning for you now and in the future, right?
Got it.
That's what I do. That's what your financial advisor should be doing, is giving you tax strategies that can help now and in the future. Okay.
Got it.
Because what we have here, let's assume that, yes, you've done a great job and you've been saving and stuff. And so probably when you get to retirement, you come up for air, you come into my office, you go, okay, Brandon, here's what we've done. And what I find is a big tax bomb sitting there, you know? A lot of times where your 401k or your IRAs or your tax deferred buckets are huge or very big, or the biggest buckets you have, and there hasn't been other planning that's been happening over the years, right?
Okay.
And so now we have the best way to describe this is, think of like a football field, right? You're on one sideline and your tax deferred money is over on the other sideline. Okay. And this is a game of Red Rover, and the government and all their IRS agents are all on the field, and they're like, okay, all right, let's go. And they're just trying to grab every dollar that comes across.
Got it. Yeah.
You're trying to send money. You're trying to outflank them. You're sending stuff down there. And now let's send some of those funds over there. Right. And the government's they're just killing you. You know, they're just grabbing everything, touching. And if they touch it, they're taxing it at the maximum level. You know, that's what we feel like. Okay. And but what we want to do is we want to have it set up to where maybe there's some money that is really really fast. Like it can't catch it. You know, the government can't touch it. Maybe they can't tax it because it's already been taxed. Okay. Or they can only tax it like in a long-term capital gains rate of 15%. Okay. Not as ordinary income. So there's actually 3 different tax statuses out there. You've got tax deferred, which is what a lot of people have, your 401ks and IRAs.
We haven't paid taxes on it yet.
That's right. Haven't paid any taxes, any of the principal, any of the interest, nothing. Okay. The government they are locked in on that money. Okay. They want it. And then you pass away. They've got plans for that money too, as it passes to your inheritance. I mean, so you've got that. Then you've got non-qualified money. Okay. That's after taxed money.
So that's money we've already paid the taxes on.
On the principal.
Okay. All right.
Okay. On the principal. So the interest, though, is taxed. All right. And then the third bucket is completely tax-free. That would be like Roth IRA money. Okay. So that's where your principal and your interest are completely tax-free. So what we want to have, so if I were to say that you've done a beautiful job, a perfect strategy here is where we would have multiple strategies or multiple tax statuses where we can start pulling money. Imagine that. We're pulling money from all 3 buckets at different rates here. And we're trying to really play this game to where you pay as little as possible. Right?
Got it.
That is the goal. And you listening, if you know that, gosh, my advisor, this is the first time I've heard about this stuff. You know,
which is a lot of people, unfortunately. Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're with, I guess, nice people, nice advisors, but, a lot of times.
It's the difference of what happens with financial advisors in your growth years versus your retirement years. This is an entirely different space.
And also, because I know this side of the world where some of these advisors can get quite lazy, kind of fat and happy, and just, pursue stocks and bonds and not really put this extra work in.
Yeah.
And so if you know that you have not been getting this, let me give you our phone number real real quick here, give me a call right now here. Get on our calendar and we can start taking a look at, what's been done and what needs to be done quickly here. Our number is 843-890-2400. If you've saved $500,000 or more and are age 55 or above, pick up the phone. We're going to put this plan together for you right now for the next 5 listeners who call or text. So that number again, 843-890-2400. And what we're going to do is a tax efficiency checkup. Okay.
Yeah.
On what you've done, what are some moves that maybe you haven't retired yet, or maybe you're about to, or maybe you're already retired. And now is the time. There are always things that we can be doing here to make your situation better. Okay. So call or text us. And if you do want to text the word tax to us, TAX, super easy. Text the word tax. And my assistant Tanya is standing by and she'll text you right back and see, when is a good time for a phone call or come into the office.
Yeah.
So the number again is 843-890-2400.
Okay.
So once we get this all set up, let me tell you what this looks like again.
Tell me.
So once it's all set up, we start maximizing our standard deduction. Okay. In retirement. Now, this money here, so every year, every American has a standard deduction. If you're single, if you're married, right? So there's a standard deduction. So that money is never, ever taxed. Okay. Because you put money into your IRA or 401k pre-taxed. It grew over the years and then we're able to pull it out tax-free because of the standard deduction. Okay. So we're going to be maximizing that. Our Social Security is going to be minimally taxed. Okay. Because we're considering the provisional income formula. Once you turn 73, when you have your required minimum distributions. Okay. That's really where we want to start looking really, really good as far as like a low tax deferred account is by the time you get to those RMDs, okay? Because then what we want to start implementing is qualified charitable distributions. You might have heard of that. They're QCDs is what those are called, okay?
Yep.
And so that's where we can satisfy the RMD, but also have that money not calculated in our Social Security and Medicare taxes, okay? Again, this is stuff that your advisor should be doing for you. They should be planning. They should be thinking proactively, coming up right alongside your CPA. Okay. Your advisor comes right alongside and says, okay, they're doing your taxes. They've got the license to give tax advice. What we do here is we say, okay, let's adopt these tax strategies so that moving forward every year, now into, your next 10, 20, 30 years, how can we pay as little taxes as possible? Right.
Got it.
You basically have a team. You've got a team, you've got an entourage now. Okay? You've got your CPA, your tax attorney, whatever, your financial advisor, your wealth manager. We're all working for your benefit so that you can have, bottom line, when you think about it, Heather, it's like all we're trying to do is help our clients keep more of their money.
Sure.
The more money you can keep and not send up to Washington, D.C., the better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like our own Doge team here. If we can, maximize our efficiency and cut out waste and fraud and abuse here, I mean, you keep your money. You've worked so hard for this money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So yes. So if you're 55 or above and you've saved $500,000 or more, I want to offer this tax plan to you right now, complimentary to the next 5 listeners who call, or you can text the word tax to 843-890-2400.
Thanks for listening to Charleston's Retirement Coach Podcast with Brandon Bowen. To learn more, visit bowenwealth.com and join Brandon for his radio show, Charleston's Retirement Coach, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 94.3 WSC.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Brandon Bowen is licensed in your state, please call 843-203-2030. J. Brandon Bowen is an investment advisor representative of Bowen Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. J. Brandon Bowen is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Bowen Wealth, LLC, insurance licensed in South Carolina. Market Guard is a registered investment advisor with the SEC and provides model portfolios only to Impact Partnership Wealth. Market Guard makes no implied warranties or representations and is not liable for any data presented.